Meanwhile, Lily's fear grew. She whispered something to Daniels that stopped him cold. "He's going to find me." The words were barely audible, but the terror in her eyes was unmistakable. Who was she afraid of? Was the person in the surveillance footage connected? Daniels felt the weight of it all bearing down on him. Someone was out there, watching, waiting. And as he looked into Lily's eyes, he knew one thing. He had to protect her, no matter what. As Officer Daniels tried to calm Lily, his phone buzzed with a message from the station. They had run the note for fingerprints and found a match. A man with a history of domestic disputes and a recent restraining order filed by Lily's mother. The man's name was Eric Grayson, and he was listed as Lily's biological father. Daniel's mind raced. If Eric had been involved, why wasn't Lily's mother coming forward? And why did Lily seem so terrified? Daniels immediately requested a welfare check at the mother's last known address. When officers arrived, the house was eerily quiet. The front door was ajar, and inside they found signs of a struggle: overturned furniture, shattered glass, and a cell phone left buzzing on the floor. But there was no sign of Lily's mother. The discovery added a chilling new layer to the case. Was Lily's mother running from Eric? Or had something even darker happened? Back at the station, Lily clung to Daniels as if he was her last line of safety. Between sobs, she revealed another piece of the puzzle. "Mommy said we had to hide. She told me not to talk to him, but he found us anyway." Daniel's heart pounded as he pieced together the implications. Eric wasn't just dangerous. He was actively searching for Lily and her mother. Just as Daniels began forming a plan, a patrol officer monitoring the area called in. A man matching Eric's description had been spotted near the station, pacing nervously and watching the windows. It wasn't just Lily who was in danger now. The threat was closing in, and Daniels knew they had little time to act. Every second mattered, and the storm outside wasn't just weather. It was the storm brewing around them all. The air inside the station grew heavy as Officer Daniels prepared for the possibility that Eric might try to get inside. He instructed the other officers to secure the building and stayed close to Lily, reassuring her with a calm voice despite his own rising tension. Outside, the rain had picked up again, hammering against the windows like an ominous drumbeat. Daniels couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to happen. Minutes later, the patrol officer's report turned into reality. Eric approached the station's front door, his face shadowed under a hood, his movements erratic. Daniel stepped forward, signaling his team to remain ready but cautious. "Eric Grayson," Daniels called out, his voice firm but steady. "We need to talk." Eric froze, his eyes darting to the windows, searching for Lily. "I just want my daughter," he yelled, his voice laced with desperation. Daniels kept his composure, stepping outside to de-escalate the situation. But as he approached, Eric suddenly reached into his jacket. Daniels braced himself, only to realize Eric wasn't pulling out a weapon. He was holding a photo. It was a picture of Lily and her mother, smiling together, with a note scribbled on the back. "Eric, if you find this, protect her." Eric broke down, tears streaming down his face. "She's gone," he sobbed. "They took her. I tried to stop them, but I couldn't." Daniels felt a chill run through him. This wasn't what he had expected. Eric wasn't the threat. He was running from one. The final twist came when Lily, overhearing Eric's voice, whispered, "The bad men." Mommy said they wanted her. Daniels realized the danger wasn't over. Someone else was behind this, someone who had targeted Lily's family. The resolution to this night was bittersweet. Lily was safe for now, but the storm of unanswered questions loomed larger than ever. As dawn broke, Officer Daniels sat with Lily in a quiet room at the station, the chaos of the night finally settling. Eric, though still under suspicion, had provided critical information about the men who had been threatening Lily's mother. A deeper investigation revealed her mother had been tangled in a dangerous situation, trying to shield her daughter from people seeking to harm her family. Though her fate was uncertain, Daniels vowed to keep looking until they found her. Lily, now safe in the care of Child Protection Services, gave Daniels a small smile as he handed her a warm drink. "Are you going to find Mommy?" she asked softly. Daniels knelt beside her and said, "I promise, we won't stop until we do." This case left Daniels with a renewed purpose. It wasn't just about the law. It was about protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. Lily's bravery had reminded him of that. The sidewalk, drenched from head to toe. Her small frame shivered as the rain poured relentlessly. But what struck him most was the look in her eyes. An overwhelming sadness no child should ever bear. Pulling over, he gently approached her, kneeling to meet her gaze. "Are you okay, sweetheart? Where's your mommy?" he asked softly. She hesitated, clutching a worn-out teddy bear, before whispering words that broke his heart. "Mommy doesn't want me anymore." Who was this little girl, and how did she end up alone in such a storm? Officer Daniels knew he couldn't walk away. As he reached out to help her, he had no idea this moment would lead to uncovering a story far deeper than he ever. Officer Daniels carefully wrapped his jacket around the shivering little girl and guided her to his patrol car. Her name was Lily, and she barely spoke as he tried to comfort her. Every question he asked, "Where do you live? Can I call someone for you?" was met with silence or a faint shake of her head. It was clear she was terrified, and Daniels could feel the weight of whatever she was carrying. As they drove to the station, Lily finally muttered something. "Mommy said I'm too much trouble." Daniel's heart sank. He couldn't imagine what could drive a parent to abandon their child. Determined to help, he contacted Child Protective Services, but even they had no immediate records of Lily or her family. Meanwhile, back at the station, an officer reviewing nearby surveillance footage made a chilling discovery. A shadowy figure lingered near the area where Lily had been found, but they vanished moments before Daniels arrived. Was someone watching her? Or worse, following her? The deeper Daniels looked into Lily's situation, the more troubling questions arose. Why was there no missing child report? Who was the mysterious figure? And what kind of life had Lily been living before she ended up on that rainy street? The pieces didn't add up, and Daniels felt an urgency to uncover the truth before it was too late imagined. As the hours stretched on, Officer Daniels couldn't shake the feeling that Lily's story was more than a simple case of abandonment. She sat quietly in the corner of the station, holding tightly to her teddy bear, her eyes darting nervously every time the door opened. It was clear she didn't feel safe, even here. Daniels decided to revisit the area where he had found her. The rain had stopped, but the streets still glistened under the dim glow of streetlights. With a flashlight in hand, he searched for anything: clues, belongings, signs of a struggle. That's when he found it. A small crumpled piece of paper tucked into a storm drain. It was a note written hastily in smudged ink. The words sent a chill down his spine. "She's your problem now." Back at the station, Daniels shared the note with his team. They began piecing together what little information they had, but nothing prepared him for what happened next. A call came in from a woman claiming to be Lily's mother. Her voice was shaky, almost desperate, but her words didn't add up. She refused to give her location, and when Daniels asked why Lily had been left in the rain, the line went dead.